Most people lose their day before they even get out of bed. Not because something terrible happened, not because life is unfair, but because they wake up without direction. Their eyes open, their hand reaches for the phone, and within seconds, their mind belongs to everyone else. Messages, news, deadlines, other people's moods. Before they have even spoken a word, they have surrendered control of their internal world. And then they wonder why the day feels heavy, why their focus feels scattered, why small problems feel overwhelming. Morning is not neutral. It is a psychological battlefield, and most people walk onto it unprepared. What you think in the first minutes after waking does not disappear. It spreads. It shapes your emotional climate. It influences your tone, your posture, your decisions, your patience. Morning is not just the start of a schedule. It is the start of identity. How you begin determines how you carry yourself. How you carry yourself determines how you respond. And how you respond determines who you become. The Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." He did not write that as decoration. He wrote it as discipline, because he understood something most people never learn. Your mind is most vulnerable and most powerful in the morning. In those first moments, your thoughts set the tone for your nervous system. Your nervous system sets the tone for your behavior, and your behavior quietly builds your life. If your mornings are rushed, reactive, and distracted, your life will slowly mirror that chaos. If your mornings are deliberate, disciplined, and centered, your life will begin to reflect that order. This is not about forced positivity. It is not about pretending problems do not exist. It is about mental positioning. Before the world makes demands on you, you must decide who you are going to be. Most people drift into their day. You will not drift. You will declare. You will not wake up asking, "What does the world want from me?" You will wake up deciding, "Who will I be today?" There is a difference between reacting to life and choosing your stance within it. Reaction is automatic. Control is intentional. Over the next few minutes, you will establish 10 morning rules, not fantasies, not emotional hype. Rules, internal standards that anchor you before emotion has a chance to move you. If practiced daily, they will make you calmer, stronger, harder to disturb. You do not need to master all 10 at once. You only need to begin. Because if you win your morning, you do not chase your day. It follows. Now we begin with the first rule. Ready to proceed to Rule 1. Rule number 1. I own my emotional climate. Most people believe their mood is something that happens to them. They say, "This day is stressful. This person ruined my mood. This situation is frustrating." But look closely. The day does not have emotions. Other people do not insert feelings into your body. Situations do not decide your internal state. Your interpretation does. Your emotional climate is not created by traffic, by emails, by criticism, or by inconvenience. It is created by your judgment. And judgment is yours. There is a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is the event. Suffering is the story you attach to it. When you wake up and immediately think, "This is going to be a long day," your body listens. When you think, "I am already behind," your nervous system tightens. When you think, "Nothing ever goes my way," your posture changes. Thought is not light. It is instruction. The Stoics understood that you cannot always control the weather outside, but you can control the weather within. If someone is rude to you, that is their behavior. Whether it becomes your anger is your choice. If something goes wrong, that is reality. Whether it becomes your identity for the day is your decision. Owning your emotional climate does not mean you suppress feelings. It means you refuse to be ruled by them. You can notice irritation without becoming irritable. You can experience disappointment without becoming defeated. You can feel pressure without collapsing under it. There is a moment, small but powerful, between stimulus and reaction. Most people never slow down enough to see it. You will. In that moment you decide, will I escalate this internally, or will I remain steady? Emotional ownership is not dramatic. It is quiet. It sounds like this. This does not control me. I will not exaggerate this. I will not let this define my day. When you wake up tomorrow, before your feet touch the floor, say this clearly. I own my emotional climate. My response is mine. My state is chosen. This is not denial. It is discipline. Because the truth is simple. If you do not choose your internal climate, the world will choose it for you. And the world is inconsistent. One comment can disturb you. One delay can frustrate you. One inconvenience can steal hours of mental energy. Or you can remain stable. The strongest people you know are not those with the easiest lives. They are the ones who refuse to let small disturbances become emotional storms. They do not magnify inconvenience. They do not dramatize discomfort. They do not give ordinary problems extraordinary power. They remain measured. When you own your emotional climate, you stop being fragile. You become grounded. You begin to move through the day with composure instead of volatility. And composure is power. You cannot control everything that happens today, but you can control whether it shakes you. Start there. Rule number 1 is not about positivity. It is about sovereignty. Own your internal weather, and the day will feel different. Rule number 2. My peace requires permission. Most people treat their peace as public property. Anyone can walk in. A comment, a delay, a mistake, an opinion, a notification, and suddenly their calm is gone. But peace is not something the world gives you. It is something you guard. Imagine your mind as a fortress, not rigid, not cold, but protected. There is a gate, and you are the gatekeeper. Every morning before the world begins speaking, you decide what is allowed inside. Criticism may arrive. Inconvenience may arrive. Unexpected problems may arrive. But none of them automatically deserve residence in your mind. They can knock. They cannot enter without permission. Most people never realize they are granting access. They replay conversations in their head. They rehearse arguments that haven't happened. They imagine worst-case scenarios, and then they wonder why they feel drained. Peace is not fragile. It is simply unguarded. When you declare, "My peace requires permission," you are not pretending that life is easy. You are setting boundaries around your internal world. You are saying, "I will assess this before I absorb it." This is not avoidance. It is evaluation. Not every opinion deserves your emotional energy. Not every mistake deserves self-criticism. Not every delay deserves frustration. When something happens today, pause. Ask yourself, does this deserve my disturbance? Is this worth my composure? Will this matter a week from now, a month from now, a year from now? Most of what unsettles you is temporary, but the emotional reaction you choose can last far longer. Peace is strength. It allows you to think clearly, to respond deliberately, to conserve energy for what truly matters. Without peace, small issues expand. With peace, even large challenges become manageable. Guarding your peace does not mean you become passive. It means you become selective. Selective about what you internalize. Selective about what you replay. Selective about what you give power to. This morning, before you begin your day, say this quietly. My peace requires permission. Not everything is allowed inside. I choose what I carry. You cannot control every external disruption, but you can control whether it disrupts you. Calm is not weakness. Calm is control. And control begins with boundaries. Your peace is not a public playground. It is a protected space. Guard it. And you will move differently, speak differently, decide differently. Rule number 2 is not about silence. It is about sovereignty. Protect your peace, and the world will feel smaller. Rule number 3. I control what is mine. The fastest way to exhaust yourself is to fight battles that were never yours to fight. Most people spend their days trying to control things that have never belonged to them. Other people's opinions, other people's behavior, the past, the future, the economy, the outcome. And while they wrestle with what they cannot control, they neglect the only things that actually shape their lives: their effort, their focus, their decisions, their response. There is a quiet discipline in knowing the difference. You cannot control whether someone respects you, but you can control how you conduct yourself. You cannot control whether today brings difficulty, but you can control how you meet it. You cannot control whether someone misunderstands you, but you can control whether you react with defensiveness or with composure. Energy is limited. Attention is limited. If you scatter it across everything, you weaken yourself. When you declare, I control what is mine, you are narrowing your battlefield. You are choosing precision over panic. Ask yourself this throughout the day. Is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it. Not emotionally, practically. Release it from your attention. Return your focus to what belongs to you, your preparation, your discipline, your integrity, your standards. Most anxiety comes from attempting to manage outcomes, but outcomes are influenced by variables you do not command. What you do command is effort, and effort compounds. When you shift your attention back to what is yours, you regain clarity. Instead of worrying about how you will be perceived, you focus on how you will perform. Instead of obsessing over whether something will work, you focus on doing your part well. Instead of replaying what already happened, you improve what you can do next. Control is not dominance over life. It is alignment with responsibility. When you stay within your sphere, you become stable. When you chase what is outside your reach, you become reactive. Today, simplify. Ask yourself, what is mine to handle? And then handle it. Nothing more, nothing less. If you speak, speak with intention. If you work, work with effort. If you decide, decide with clarity. You are not responsible for everything. You are responsible for what is yours, and that is enough. Say this before you begin your day. I control what is mine. My effort is mine. My response is mine. My standards are mine. You cannot steer the entire ocean, but you can steer your vessel. Focus there. Rule number 3 is clarity. Control what belongs to you, and let the rest pass. Rule number 4, my worth is untouchable. Most people tie their value to outcomes. If they succeed, they feel worthy. If they fail, they feel diminished. If they are praised, they feel elevated. If they are criticized, they feel reduced. Their identity rises and falls with the events of the day. But your worth is not a stock price. It should not fluctuate based on performance. There is a difference between evaluation and identity. You can evaluate your work without attacking yourself. You can improve your behavior without questioning your value. You can acknowledge a mistake without rewriting who you are. When you attach your worth to what happens externally, you become fragile. A single rejection feels devastating. A small setback feels personal. An imperfect day feels like failure. But when your worth is internal, events lose their power to define you. You are not your promotion. You are not your income. You are not your mistakes. You are not your temporary struggles. You are the one navigating them. This does not mean you lower your standards. It means your standards are not a measure of your existence. If you fall short today, you adjust. You do not collapse. If someone questions you, you assess. You do not shrink. If something fails, you refine. You do not conclude that you are inadequate. There is strength in separating effort from identity. You can pursue excellence without turning it into a verdict on your worth. You can care deeply about improvement without making every outcome a judgment of you. Say this before the day begins. My worth is untouchable. Outcomes may vary. My value does not. This removes desperation. You no longer chase approval to feel whole. You no longer fear mistakes as if they threaten your existence. You become steady. When someone praises you, you remain grounded. When someone criticizes you, you remain measured. When something goes wrong, you respond without self-destruction. Your worth was not created this morning. It will not be erased by evening. It existed before today's challenges. It will exist after today's results. This understanding changes how you move. You speak with less fear. You act with less hesitation. You recover faster. You do not crumble under pressure because your identity is not at stake. Rule number 4 is internal stability. Detach your value from temporary outcomes. Improve without self-condemnation. Strive without self-punishment. Stand firm in who you are while refining what you do. When your worth is untouchable, the day cannot intimidate you. And that is power. Rule number 5. Action over excuse. There is a quiet gap between knowing and doing. Most people live inside that gap. They know what they should do. They know they should exercise. They know they should make the call. They know they should begin. But knowing is comfortable. Doing is demanding. Excuses rarely sound like excuses. They sound reasonable. I'm tired. I'll start tomorrow. I just need more time. I'm not fully ready. And so the day passes. Intentions remain intact, but progress does not. The difference between stagnation and growth is rarely talent. It is execution. You do not build strength by thinking about strength. You do not build confidence by imagining confidence. You build both through action, small, imperfect, consistent action. Waiting for motivation is a subtle form of delay. Some mornings you will feel inspired. Most mornings you will not. If your behavior depends on emotion, your discipline will collapse. When you declare action over excuse, you are choosing movement regardless of mood. This does not mean recklessness. It means commitment. Commitment to what you said you would do. Commitment to the standard you set. Commitment to becoming the kind of person who follows through. Excuses protect comfort. Action builds character. Every time you act when you do not feel like acting, you reinforce self-trust. And self-trust compounds. The more you follow through, the less negotiation happens in your mind. You waste less energy debating yourself. You move. There is power in simplicity. If something needs to be done, do it. If a step can be taken, take it. Not dramatically, not loudly, quietly, consistently. Replace "I'll try" with "I will." Replace "I hope" with "I begin." Progress does not require perfection. It requires motion. You will not wait for ideal conditions. You will not wait for the perfect mood. You will not wait for certainty. You will act within the conditions you have. Say this before you start your day. I choose action over excuse. I do what needs to be done, not because I feel like it, but because I decided. This is how momentum is built. One action, then another, then another. Small decisions repeated daily become identity. Identity shapes destiny. Rule number 5 is movement, not dramatic change, not grand gestures, just disciplined execution. Today you move forward without negotiation, without delay, action over excuse. Rule number 6. Obstacles are training. Most people interpret difficulty as interruption. Something is going wrong. Something is unfair. Something is blocking their progress. And so they resist it. They complain about it. They wish it away. But resistance without reflection creates frustration. Consider a different perspective. What if the obstacle is not in your way? What if it is the way? The Roman emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He did not write that in comfort. He wrote it while leading an empire through war, political tension, and uncertainty. He understood that adversity is not an exception to life. It is part of the curriculum. Every challenge tests something: your patience, your composure, your courage, your discipline. Without resistance, none of these develop. A muscle does not grow without strain. A mind does not sharpen without difficulty. A character does not deepen without pressure. When something difficult happens today, pause before labeling it a problem. Ask, what is this training? Is it training your patience? Is it training your humility? Is it training your persistence? Not every obstacle is dramatic. Sometimes it is inconvenience. Sometimes it is delay. Sometimes it is misunderstanding. But even small friction reveals your habits. Do you escalate quickly? Do you withdraw? Do you blame? Or do you steady yourself? Seeing obstacles as training removes victimhood. You are no longer asking, why is this happening to me? You are asking, what is this shaping in me? This does not mean you enjoy difficulty. It means you refuse to waste it. You extract value from it. You grow because of it. If today brings pressure, meet it with posture. If today brings criticism, meet it with composure. If today brings setbacks, meet them with adjustment. Strength is not built in comfort. It is revealed under weight. Say this before you begin your day. Obstacles are training, pressure shapes me, resistance strengthens me. When you adopt this mindset, frustration decreases, clarity increases. You begin to see challenge as refinement, not punishment. Rule number 6 is perspective. What stands in the way can become the path. Use it, and you will not be easily shaken. Rule number 7. I refuse comparison. Comparison rarely feels destructive in the moment. It feels small, it feels automatic. You scroll, you observe, you measure. Someone is further ahead. Someone looks stronger. Someone appears more successful. And quietly, your satisfaction decreases. You begin to question your pace, your progress, your position. But you are not seeing reality. You are seeing a curated fragment, a selected highlight, a filtered presentation. Comparison distorts perception. It makes you underestimate your own growth. It makes you ignore your own context. It makes you chase timelines that were never designed for you. Every person begins from a different starting point. Different resources, different support, different obstacles, different responsibilities. Yet comparison ignores all of that. It reduces complex lives into surface impressions, and then it creates dissatisfaction. When you declare, "I refuse comparison," you are not denying ambition. You are protecting clarity. Your only meaningful comparison is who you were yesterday. Not someone across the world. Not someone on a screen. Not someone in a different season of life. Growth is personal. It is specific. It is layered. If you constantly measure yourself against external benchmarks, you will never feel stable. Because there will always be someone ahead. Always someone with more money, more status, more recognition. And if your peace depends on being ahead, it will never settle. Refusing comparison does not make you complacent. It makes you focused. Focused on your lane. Focused on your trajectory. Focused on your standard. You are not competing with everyone. You are refining yourself. Celebrate others without shrinking. Observe success without self-judgment. Learn without self-criticism. Say this before the day begins. I refuse comparison. My path is mine. My pace is mine. My growth is mine. There is quiet strength in running your race without distraction. You conserve energy, you protect confidence, you deepen focus. Comparison scatters attention. Focus sharpens it. Rule number 7 is alignment. Stay in your lane, measure your progress honestly, improve steadily, and allow others to walk their own path without interfering with yours. Rule number 8. Discipline before feeling. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel inspired. They tell themselves, "When I feel like it, I'll begin." But feelings are unstable. Some mornings you wake up focused. Other mornings you wake up distracted. Some days you feel strong. Other days you feel heavy. If your actions depend on your emotions, your progress will be inconsistent. Discipline is different. Discipline does not ask how you feel. It asks what you decided. It does not negotiate with comfort. It honors commitment. When you choose discipline before feeling, you detach action from mood. You stop asking, "Do I feel like doing this?" And you begin asking, "Did I say I would do this?" There is power in that shift. It removes internal debate. It removes hesitation. It removes delay. You act because it aligns with your standard, not because it aligns with your emotion. This does not make you rigid. It makes you reliable. Reliable to yourself, reliable to your goals, reliable to your word. Every time you act, despite resistance, you strengthen something invisible. Self-respect, self-trust, internal authority. You prove to yourself that your commitments matter, that your standards are not suggestions, that your word carries weight. Motivation is unpredictable. It rises and falls. Discipline is steady. It moves whether you are excited or not. When something feels uncomfortable today, pause. Notice the resistance, and then act anyway. Not recklessly, not dramatically, calmly, deliberately. Say this before your day begins. Discipline before feeling. I act based on commitment, not mood. Over time, this becomes identity. You stop being someone who starts and stops. You become someone who follows through. You build momentum that does not depend on emotion. And momentum builds confidence. Rule number 8 is consistency. Feelings may fluctuate. Standards do not. Let your standards lead. and your feelings will follow. Rule number 9. Gratitude is strength. Most people believe gratitude is soft, polite, optional, something you practice when life is already going well. But gratitude is not softness, it is perspective, and perspective determines emotional stability. Every morning, you can focus on what is missing, what is delayed, what is uncertain, what is incomplete. Or you can focus on what is present, what is functioning, what is available, what is already working in your favor. Both are real, but only one builds resilience. Your mind moves toward what it notices. If it notices scarcity, it builds dissatisfaction. If it notices abundance, it builds steadiness. Gratitude does not deny problems. It simply refuses to exaggerate them. Right now, without you commanding it, your heart beats, your lungs breathe, your body functions. You have access to knowledge, to communication, to opportunity that previous generations could not imagine. Yet most mornings, attention goes immediately to what is lacking, the missed opportunity, the unresolved issue, the unfinished task, and the day begins from deficiency. When you choose gratitude, you reset the frame. You begin from sufficiency. You begin from recognition. This does not mean you stop striving. It means you stop complaining. There is a difference. You can pursue growth without living in resentment. You can improve your situation without despising your current one. Gratitude strengthens focus. It reduces emotional volatility. It increases patience. Because when you recognize what is stable, temporary frustration loses intensity. Practice this deliberately. Before engaging with the day, identify 3 things that are already functioning. Not dramatically, simply health, shelter, opportunity, clarity, support, progress. Even small things count: warm water, quiet space, a lesson learned yesterday. Say this before you move forward. Gratitude is strength. I notice what is working. I begin from abundance. When you begin from gratitude, you operate from confidence. You are not scrambling to fill a void. You are building from a foundation. Scarcity creates urgency. Gratitude creates stability. Stability allows clear decisions. Rule number 9 is grounding. Notice what you already have, and you will move through the day with steadier steps. Rule number 10. I improve daily, no matter what. Most people measure progress in dramatic moments. Major breakthroughs, big achievements, visible success. But life rarely transforms in single events. It transforms in increments, small adjustments, minor corrections, repeated effort. The day you are living right now is not separate from your future. It is building it, quietly. Every decision compounds. Every reaction reinforces identity. Every adjustment sharpens character. When you commit to daily improvement, you remove the pressure of perfection. You do not need to conquer the world today. You need to refine yourself slightly. 1% clearer, 1% calmer, 1% more disciplined. That is enough. Progress is not about intensity. It is about consistency. Even a difficult day can become productive if you extract something from it. A lesson, a correction, a realization. Nothing is wasted if it is examined. The Stoic philosopher Seneca practiced a nightly ritual. Before sleep, he would review his day and ask himself, what weakness did I overcome? What fault did I resist? What did I improve? He understood something simple. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness. If you end each day slightly wiser than you began, you are advancing. Even mistakes become material. Even failure becomes instruction. Even discomfort becomes insight. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control whether you grow from it. When something goes wrong, ask, what can I adjust? When something goes well, ask, what did I do correctly? When something feels frustrating, ask, what is this teaching me? Growth is deliberate. It requires reflection. It requires honesty. But it does not require self-punishment. You are not reviewing your day to criticize yourself. You are reviewing it to strengthen yourself. There is quiet power in ending the day improved. Not transformed, improved. Small refinements accumulate, and over time they become visible strength. Say this before you begin. I improve daily no matter what. Nothing is wasted. Every day builds me. This mindset removes despair, because even a hard day can still move you forward. It removes complacency, because even a good day can still be refined. You wake up as one version of yourself. You go to sleep as a slightly stronger one. That is enough. Rule number 10 is commitment to evolution. Not dramatic change, steady change, layer by layer, day by day, until strength becomes your default. These 10 rules are not motivation. They are positioning. They are the difference between drifting through your day and directing it. Most people live reactively. They wake up and allow the world to determine their mood. They allow circumstances to shape their posture. They allow emotion to dictate their action. And over time, that reactivity becomes identity. But you have another option. You can begin your morning with intention. You can decide your emotional climate. You can protect your peace. You can focus only on what is yours. You can detach your worth from outcomes. You can choose action over excuse. You can treat obstacles as training. You can refuse comparison. You can prioritize discipline over feeling. You can ground yourself in gratitude. You can commit to daily improvement. This is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming deliberate. When you start your day this way, you move differently. You speak differently. You respond differently. You conserve energy. You reduce drama. You build internal authority. And internal authority changes everything. Because when your foundation is steady, external turbulence loses its power. You do not need to be louder. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to react to every disruption. You become composed, measured, difficult to disturb. Your mornings shape your days. Your days shape your character. Your character shapes your future. And your future is built quietly in decisions no one else sees. If this way of thinking strengthens you, stay with it. This channel is not about noise. It is about discipline. It is about clarity. It is about building strength that does not depend on applause. If you value that standard, subscribe, return to it, reinforce it. Let this be your reminder each morning that you do not drift. You decide, and tomorrow when your eyes open, you will not lose your day before it begins. You will claim it.